You grew up looking on the wall in school at what's called a Mercator projection. That's the maps we all grew up with in high school. What we were told about the Mercator projection was one of the reasons it was put in place is because it gave you nice straight navigation lines for maritime, for sea captains. What most people don't understand is that it grossly deforms the size of a landmass. One of the side effects of what they do is to make all the tiny European ruling class nations where the royal families come from look much bigger than they truly are, and the third world areas shrunk down. That's just one of the side effects. But now go look at a Gall Peters map and put it straight next to your Mercator projection. Anyone can go online and put them side by side. Well, which one's right? Well, if you're a logical human being, you will come to the conclusion that a logical human being will come to. Neither one of them's right. Because there's not just a Gall Peters, there's also a Peters, there's all these other projections. And what they're telling you is, well, this is the best we can do, guys. Give us a break. It's a globe. How can you possibly take a globe and cut it up and put it on a flat surface? This is the argument. Well, first thing I'd ask you is, really? If you're a logical person and you put 4 or 5 of the modern projections, and there are some very modern projections where more people in the recent era went at it to solve this math problem or that math problem. But when you look across them, you can only walk away knowing one thing. You have no idea what the land masses of this world look like.
Now, speaking of maps, why is most of the continent of Antarctica unmapped?
All right, so on the ball model, it's just this little continent on the bottom. Yet, in reality, it's all around us. So there's much more of it than we know. And how much there is to Antarctica, I don't know, and any independent person doesn't know, because we only have gotten as far as that, and nobody independently has had the privilege of going further southwards to see how far south you can actually go. In reality, we don't know how far it goes, whether it ends in a dome, in some sort of barrier, as ancient cultures have talked about, or if there's an edge, or if it's an infinite plane that just goes on forever, or if there's some other termination of the ice. Still a mystery at this point. But we know that Antarctic is all around us. Even the flat Earth projections, they'll show the Antarctic circumference. We know what that looks like. We know all the cliffs, all the little ins and outs, but we don't know how far you can go south. All the projections inevitably just go to the ice, show all the little imperfections in and out, the inlets and outlets, and then trace a circle around that. Whether that circle is the dome or whether that circle is arbitrary and it actually extends infinitely is still unknown at this time. They've got this Antarctic treaty, and this is surely why, because if any independent explorer decides, I'm going to go to Antarctica, just set their course southwards and start walking, they're going to find the answer to this mystery. And it's that easy. But it's not that easy if they've got a treaty enforced by military ships patrolling the place, putting people in jail who try it. That's a gauntlet that some brave explorer needs to run.
How can it be in the modern era, with technology at such a high level, with planes that we know can go 70, 80,000 feet in the air, that we don't have a real map? How is that possible? Well, I'll tell you how it's possible. You live in a construct. You've been conditioned your entire life. That's what school's about. School is about nothing more than to tell you how to get along within the system. But at no point in school were you ever told anything true about the systems. The only mind that is completely lost is the certain mind. Because a certain mind has no ability to grow or change or shape. As a human being, it might be helpful if you decide that no matter what belief system or what things you hold to be accurate, that you're willing to challenge them. Belief is the enemy of knowing, and I have never said a truer thing in my life.